Hello everyone, Storm here, and today I'm dropping part 5 of What If Yamcha Was a Saiyan. So as usual, if you haven't seen the earlier parts before this, make sure you check them out before watching this video. They'll be linked in the description and comments section. But if you're caught up, there's no reason to stall, so let's get into the story. But actually first, I've got something to address. It seems like some people think it's not possible for Bulma to fix up the time machine without future Bulma's notes, but I want to remind you that future Bulma herself is Bulma and was able to figure out time travel. So a much older, probably smarter Bulma should be able to learn how to fix up the time machine as well, which wouldn't even be as big of a deal as figuring out all of time travel. And even if it for some reason took years, it'd still be doable if she hides from the Frieza Force, which I think she would be able to do, considering their forces were spread thin. But yeah, I just wanted to clarify that, so now let's get into the story. Goku uses instant transmission to locate this timeline's new Namek and arrive there. Goku then wishes for everyone killed by Frieza and Cold since Frieza's revival to be brought back to life. And so all the super fighters, people of Earth, and some other planets are revived. Goku is then able to use the instant transmission to take Bulma, Yamcha, and Vegeta to Earth, and with that, they've restored Bulma's original timeline. She thanks the three, and they head back to their own timeline, leaving her to explain everything that occurred to the super fighters. Everyone in the new timeline are happy to see Yamcha, Goku, and Vegeta return to their own time, and are pleased to know that they saved Bulma's timeline as well. But now the gang goes back to their usual training, so we're gonna bounce a bit between the timelines for a little bit. To make this simple for you guys, I'm gonna call the timeline where Frieza and Cold killed everyone the original timeline, because it's the one that we've always been following. And then I'll call the timeline Bulma traveled to in order to prevent Frieza's revival the main timeline. And of course, Future Trunks' timeline will still be called the Future Timeline. Hopefully there's a little key for you guys on screen now if I edit that in. It should be pretty simple to understand. So before we fully return to our main timeline, I'd like to stay in the original timeline for a little bit. So after Bulma explains all the time travel she had to do to save everyone, the super fighters are impressed. Most of them had kept up their training in Otherworld during this time, which gave them immense power growth. But they are happy to be back in the living realm. They're not the only ones though. Whis and Beerus arrive after some time, with Whis being happy to see his star pupils alive once again. He gives Bulma a compliment and says that when he couldn't find her on Earth, he suspected she had died. But he's glad she managed to save everyone, even if she had to use time travel. They'll let it slide. A small part of Beerus is also happy to see them back, as his life had been dull without them, but of course he's not really going to show it. So Goku, Yamcha, and Vegeta continue their training with Whis to grow even further in power. Whis mentions how Beerus and Champa got into a heated battle over Earth, but he and his sister Vado stopped them from escalating too much. Without the strong fighters of Earth to defend his honor, Beerus never agreed to a tournament with Champa, and so they just kind of fought it out. Anyway, some time passes, and in our main timeline, a paradox is created. This being the paradox of Zamasu and Goku Black. Zamasu had become evil and killed Gawasu, stealing his time ring. He also stole the body of Goku after seeing the Universe 6 tournament. After that, he killed Goku's family and quickly fled the timeline to find one where he could wipe out mortals without punishment. One of the timelines he encountered during his search was our original timeline. He appeared on Earth, which alerted Goku, Yamcha, and Vegeta. Such a strong energy just appearing was pretty extraordinary, so they head toward that energy, which leads them to Goku Black. He decides to test out his power on Goku, as it'll be very interesting to see how they stack up to each other. Because this is an early Goku Black who hasn't been adapting yet, his base form is just the same level as base Goku. This causes the fight to be evenly matched, with Goku Black increasing over time. Once Goku learns of this, he goes Super Saiyan to try to combat him better. But Black simply keeps growing and growing, eventually catching up to Goku once again, and at that point, Goku amps it up to Super Saiyan God, which Black has a very hard time keeping up with. This forces Goku Black to use the time ring and escape to another timeline, which just so happens to be the Future Trunks timeline. So now finally Black has the playground he's been looking for, where the only real threat is Trunks. One small problem for Black is that Beerus is still alive. This is because Future Trunks is a lot stronger this time, meaning he was able to defeat Deborah and Babidi easier, which saved Kibito and Shin. They left Earth, and because Shin is alive, Beerus is as well. However, Goku Black is going to do the best he can to make sure Beerus dies, so that he can do the Zero Mortal plan. To do this, he recruits the Zamasu of this timeline, and they go on a killing spree, wiping out every Kai, and in turn, every god of destruction. Black then quickly begins tearing down humanity like we saw in canon, causing a resistance to form with Trunks and Mai. But back in our original timeline, Beerus and Whis help Goku track down Zamasu, who has a very similar energy to Black. Yamcha, having been unable to fight Black, wants to help out with this, so he tags along and ends up fighting Zamasu instead of Goku. They investigate the similarities, and that actually sparks this Zamasu to go down a dark path as well. But because Black never returns to this timeline, the need to focus on Zamasu is never really there. It's not like Goku and the gang are going to chase him through time if they have no lead on which timeline he might be in, so they're just kind of forced to sit back and let things happen. And because it's not a massive deal to him or to the gang, Beerus gives in to his laziness and just ignores it. This causes the Zamasu in this timeline to also kill Gawasu and steal Yamcha's body. He then cuts his hair with a keyblade and kills Bulma and Bra. This forces Trunks to step in and fight the corrupted version of his father. While in Otherworld, Trunks was training intensely, so he was able to unlock Super Saiyan 3, but it was pretty unstable due to him not spending too much time there. So Trunks attacks Yamcha Black with all he's got, but he has no success, resulting in him being killed as well. Vegeta and Goku sense the large energy and the deaths of Bulma and Yamcha's family, so they show up to see what's going on, but Yamcha Black escapes using the time ring. Beerus finds out about what Zamasu had done and is pretty upset that his laziness caused all that. But luckily they are able to use the Dragon Balls to bring Bulma and Trunks back to life, as well as Bra. After that, Bulma decides that she needs to use the time machine to stop the evil guy who's taken her husband's body. She starts fueling up so that they can go check on her friends in the main timeline and see if Black has affected them at all. Meanwhile, Yamcha Black travels through timelines just as Goku Black did before him. After some time, he manages to find Future Trunks' timeline. Yamcha Black and Goku Black meet, having a brief face-off before realizing that their goals are the same. And so they work together to terrorize Future Trunks' Earth, with him barely being able to survive against both of them. Anyway, back to our original timeline, Bulma has fueled up the time machine and managed to take herself, Goku, and Vegeta to the main timeline. They're able to see that no bad guys have shown up, so Vegeta tells them to be on the lookout for Zamasu. He killed Kais and caused a lot of the problems throughout time, so they have to take him down. Beerus wants to go investigate, but Vegeta warns him not to take this issue lightly. There, Beerus let Zamasu live, and it resulted in Yamcha having his body stolen. Beerus says that he may as well take Vegeta with him, so he does so. Vegeta helps to investigate Zamasu and is much more aggressive during their spar. He contemplates killing him right there, but Beerus tells him not to, as he hasn't caused any major trouble just yet. Vegeta stops, and Beerus tells Gawasu to watch Zamasu closely. With that, Bulma, Goku, and Vegeta go to Future Trunks' timeline in order to make sure he's safe as well. Before they leave, they tell the gang to time travel to their timeline if there's any issues. Because Beerus is much more adamant about watching Zamasu here, he actually stops him from killing Gawasu and Hakai's him like he does in the original show. You guys might be wondering why I'm saying the main timeline, Zamasu dies, if Goku Black was born from our main timeline. The reason is because Zamasu taking Goku's body is triggered in a time paradox, where the timelines randomly split when Beerus Hakai's him. In one timeline, Beerus does Hakai him, which is our main one, and in the other, he didn't. The reason why this split happened is never told to us, but that is literally the explanation, so I can't really do anything about it. Zamasu becomes Goku Black in a later version of our main timeline with no alterations, where Beerus didn't Hakai him. So you can consider this Goku Black from that timeline. Anyway, back in the future, Goku Black and Yamcha Black have made a lot of progress killing the Resistance together, and making Earth a wasteland. They attempt to kill Future Trunks and Mai, but that's when Bulma, Goku, and Vegeta arrive. They sense Future Trunks in danger, but also sense Yamcha Black and Goku Black. So Vegeta goes to fight Goku Black while Goku goes to aid Future Trunks. Together using Super Saiyan 2, they're able to overpower Yamcha Black, although he does adapt to their strength. Meanwhile, Vegeta fights Goku Black, but since he had now fought Goku in Super Saiyan, he is able to use Super Saiyan Rose. And with that level of power, even Blue Vegeta isn't enough to handle his new form. He injures the prince with his Keyblade and leaves him to die so that he can go help Yamcha Black. The two Zamasus easily beat down Goku and Trunks, forcing future Yajirobe, Mai, and both Bulmas to help them escape. So Goku, Vegeta, future Trunks, and present Bulma escape with the time machine. Because of their distraction, Yamcha Black and Goku Black proceed to kill future Bulma, with Mai and Yajirobe barely making it out alive. Once Goku and the others have made it to their timeline with future Trunks, Bulma quickly tells the present Trunks to get some Senzu beans. He does so, and Goku, Vegeta, and future Trunks are all healed up. Bulma puts the time machine into Capsule Corp so that she can refuel it, and the gang catches each other up to speed on what's been going on. Future Trunks is wondering where these evil versions of Goku and his father came from, so Vegeta and Goku quickly explain the whole ordeal with Zamasu. The gang quickly tries to think of ways to handle the threat, but that's when a wormhole appears nearby. Out of it comes Goku Black and Yamcha Black, who follow them through the ripple in time that their time machine made. This causes a rematch between Goku, Vegeta, and future Trunks versus Yamcha Black and Goku Black. However, Goku Black's Rose form is once again far too powerful for any of them to contend. That, combined with Yamcha Black growing more and more over time, the three are beaten down once more, which enrages present Trunks. He refuses to let Yamcha Black kill again, so he charges in with Super Saiyan 3. However, Yamcha Black simply dodges and is about to kill Trunks a second time, but that's when the wormhole begins sucking him and Goku Black into the future Trunks timeline. The two are taken away, giving our super fighters time to breathe. Piccolo arrives with more Senzu beans and gives them to the gang. Vegeta is furious that he has been bested by the Body Snatchers yet again, so he storms off to train in the time chamber. Goku decides to join him as he needs to grow stronger as well, and they have already kind of investigated Zamasu. Since they're waiting for Bulma to refuel the time machine, which will take a while, future Trunks spends his time catching up with everyone. So future Trunks decides to help this version of himself train, so that both of them can grow. The two Trunkses begin battling, with future Trunks using Super Saiyan 2, and present Trunks trying to work on Super Saiyan 3, which he can barely use. This causes both of them to grow in strength quite a bit. Goku and Vegeta exit the time chamber after a day, and wait for Bulma to be done fueling up. Meanwhile, in Trunks' timeline, Yamcha Black asks Goku Black how he achieved that Rose form. Goku Black sees a bit of himself in Yamcha Black, quite literally, so he shows off the form to him and tries to help him learn it. So by this point, he's seen Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, and future Trunks go Super Saiyan multiple times, as well as seeing the Rose form in action itself. I think with all these things combined, Yamcha Black could achieve it by now, even if he didn't see Yamcha himself go Super Saiyan. After helping his comrade unlock this power, Goku Black decides to go find Zamasu once again, so that they can be even more prepared when their enemies return. After another day or so, Bulma is able to get enough fuel, but decides to stay back this time. It'd be better if they had more fighters who could help against Goku Black and Yamcha Black, which is the perfect opportunity for present Trunks to step up. Goku, Vegeta, and the two Trunkses travel back into the future, once again to put a stop to Zamasu's shenanigans. When they arrive, they see that Yamcha Black has also unlocked Super Saiyan Rose, which is already a huge problem itself. But then, future Zamasu arrives and makes everyone realize just how much harder they'll have to fight this time. So Goku and Vegeta use Super Saiyan Blue, and the two Trunkses use Super Saiyan 2. Goku and Vegeta attack Yamcha Black and Goku Black, while the two Trunkses fight future Zamasu. They're able to fight him off using teamwork that they've grown over the training time. Meanwhile, Goku and Vegeta are now demolishing Yamcha Black and Goku Black. Their training in the time chamber really seems to have paid off here. However, their victory won't last long. Both of their enemies are adapting over time, and the others realize Zamasu is immortal. Because of these two factors, all four of our heroes would be overwhelmed after a certain amount of time. Thankfully, future Mai leads the resistance to try and distract the Zamasus, and this leads to Goku Black killing Mai right there. Seeing this causes future Trunks to break, and he unlocks the Super Saiyan Rage form. Goku and Vegeta realize that they're not going to win this one either, so they grab present Trunks and escape back into their timeline. When they return, he demands to be trained so that they can gain further power and save his other self. Vegeta accepts this and takes him into the time chamber. Meanwhile, Goku learns the Mafuba from Roshi so that he can try and get rid of the immortal Zamasu. But that's where I'm going to leave this part. Let me know what your thoughts on this version of the Black Arc is. I know it can be super confusing with all the different timelines, but I feel like it's also way more interesting. But if you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and like the video so that you can see when the finale part drops. But as always, tell me if you liked this part, tell me what you think will happen next, comment your requests for future videos, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, have a great day.